and gentlemen, we have Kane Williamson from the Sunrisers Hyderabad to address the press conference after the IPL 2020 qualifier tour. Kane, what was the thought behind opening the innings with Priyam, considering his form has been a hit and miss and he isn't quite experienced?
Yeah, look, I don't know the exact thoughts, but what I feel was that he's got a huge amount of talent, and perhaps throughout the season hadn't had a lot of sort of repeated opportunity. And every time we watch him play, and particularly in the nets, you can see how well he hits the ball, and he showed that again tonight, where he hit some beautiful shots, and he's a really exciting young player for the future, that's for sure.
The heavy batters targeted some bowlers specifically. What could have the team done better in such a scenario and possibly avoid that assault?
Yeah, look, they're a very good side, and I think they've been trying to find a rhythm to their play, a little bit like we were, and we managed to for a period of time. And tonight they put it all together and played very, very well, and put a very competitive total on the board, which going into the second innings, there's always risks that need to be taken. And unfortunately we didn't get off to the best of starts, but managed to build a few partnerships through the middle period, and we still had a little bit of an opportunity. So a real shame not to kick on in the tournament and make the final, but I think particularly in the last 3 weeks the guys can be pretty proud of how they played.
Can you sum up this season for us in terms of the team? What were the highs and the lows?
A season of fine lines, I think. We had a number of very, very close losses, and we weren't perhaps playing our best. And I think every team is very, very strong. So look, everybody's beaten everybody, and you have to be at the top of your game. And I think as a team, we were looking for that rhythm to our play, as a collective, and it perhaps took a little bit of time. I think a lot of teams are in a similar boat, so it was nice we were able to find it at the crunch time and win sort of 4 or 5 in a row, which gave us the opportunity. But like I say, we would have loved to have gone through and not meant to be today.
In a word on your innings, while you were there, it looked quite within reach, even in fact later when Abdul Samad and Rashid Khan were in the middle. So what was the thought during the run chase, especially after losing those initial wickets?
Yeah, I mean, it was just trying to re-establish a partnership, try and take the game to a stage where we could then perhaps change the pressure a little bit, because for a long period of that time in the second innings they were sort of on top of us. So we were able to do that through some small partnerships, and then Abdul Samad, another really talented young player in our team, came out and hit the ball beautifully, and allowed us to get back into the game, although there was still quite a bit of work to do. So some really good signs, and a really interesting season where there's a mixture of sort of experience and young players, and who had a number of opportunities throughout, which I think were really good for them and perhaps for the team moving forward.
You just mentioned the youngsters. There were quite a few who did well for you. Natarajan, Abhishek, Priyam, Samad are some of those youngsters in the team. How does the team management and you as a senior player look at them in the sense of the long term and in terms of grooming them as well?
Yeah, I mean, look, you want to offer them as much as you can to help, but look, they're so talented and hit the ball beautifully well, and I think it's a matter of playing the game, and I suppose within our side they had a number of opportunities to have those experiences, which will be so valuable for them. It was great throughout the tournament that they were able to have those opportunities. A number of the players, like you mentioned, Priyam, Samad, Abhishek and Natarajan, who really burst onto the scene with his death bowling, which has been exceptional throughout, especially with the number of injuries that we had in this campaign, with the likes of Bhuvi, who's our senior bowler, and also Ridham and Sahar as well. So it was an interesting time coming out of lockdown. I think a lot of teams found the niggles and the perhaps little injuries a challenge to deal with, and we certainly weren't the only team, but the way the guys came in and played roles and filled in those gaps was really good.
Okay, thank you so much. Go ahead.
Thank you.
You have Marcus Stoinis from the Delhi Capitals to address this press conference. An easy one to start with. Congratulations on the win. First final, what's the mood like in the camp?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting in the change rooms and seeing how everyone's going. Us Aussie boys had to pack our bags just in case we lost and we were going to go straight to the hotel. So it's a nice feeling right now.
And what was the strategy behind you opening the batting, and was it in a sense to unsettle the Sunrisers bowling? What was the thought behind it?
No, Ricky's spoken to me a couple of times about the possibility of opening the batting. And yeah, it just worked out that during this game, this was the time to do it. We tried it once earlier where I batted 3, but it didn't come off. We were chasing about 220. So yeah, fortunately it worked tonight.
Now, you also delivered with the ball today, getting crucial wickets, 2 in 1 over. In fact, how can you describe your strategies in terms of bowling this year? You have been amongst the wickets, and you've had also changes of pace, etc.
Yeah, bowling in this format's always hard. It's more about just, I guess, planning before you get to the ground. You have a good idea. You're speaking to the captain and the coach about the different players and your strategies. I think it's also important to stick to your own strengths. So yeah, and then from there, just be clear. In 2020, often you're not trying to exactly take a wicket, but you're trying to control the run rate, control the game, and build some pressure, which then leads to wickets.
You opened the batting with Shikhar Dhawan, who's again had a great season for your team. Can you talk about his impact in the team towards youngsters as well, and also the way you two opened the batting today?
Shikhar's been unbelievable. He's made some big hundreds, and even in the games where he's missed out, he's really timed the ball well, and usually he's hit a good shot, unfortunately to a fielder. So he's really led the way for us this year. He's a leader within our team, brings a lot of energy, shares a lot of knowledge. He's been really good to me through this camp and this time of the IPL. So I'm really proud of him, and he's made, I think, 600 and something runs this season. So yeah, hopefully he's got another big one in the final left in him.
And finally, you're playing Mumbai Indians, a team that's gotten the better of you in the encounters this year. Considering the added pressure of the final, what would be the preparations for this all-important game?
The preparations will be, I guess, the same as usual. I think when these big games are coming up, I think it's more important to stick to your usual strategies and your routines before games. It is a big game. They're a great team. They've been really good and consistent all year, and they've beaten us twice. But so it's Sunrisers, so we'll see what happens. We'll just bring our best game of cricket, and if we play our best, I reckon that'll be good enough.
Marcus, thank you so much. Wish you the best for the final.
Thanks.